What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to JD's Nerdverse. We're doing another prediction video today because it's Prediction Monday. Lickitung, Pokemon number 108. It is the licking Pokemon. It's got a big tongue. It's got kind of a big butt slash tail. It's kind of so ugly it's cute kind of Pokemon. It's got its little pudgy Pokemon. It's kind of cool looking though. It has one big toe on each foot. It has some circles on its knees, and it has, I don't know if that's a claw or a finger, but it has a paw with one little jabby on it. So that's what we're working with today. I'm very excited for this playthrough because it has some pretty good stats and some pretty good moves. Let's go over the stats real quick. 90 HP, 55 attack, 75 defense, 60 special, and speed is 30. So speed is our worst stat by far, but the other stats are pretty well clumped together so that it's not too spread out. So it's a 310 base power move total for this Pokemon. I think it'll do pretty well. The HP is very helpful in defense, and HP pair very well with each other, so we can last longer in battles. The only question I have is about attack and special. We do have a pretty broad moveset that covers both of those, so we'll see. Let's move on to the moveset. We start off the game with Wrap, a 15 base power, 85% accurate move. However, it's actually Stab, so it's 15 times 1.5, which means it's about 23 base power move. Not great, but it's a little more powerful than what Ekans would have used it for, or Bellsprout or whatever. We also get Supersonic. Supersonic's not really that useful. It's very low accuracy, so I don't like using it. It could be helpful if that's all we had to beat Brock, but I think we can beat Brock with the rest of the moves here. At level 7, we get Stomp, which is fantastic because not only is it 65 base power, it's Stab. So that gives it a boost all the way up to about 98 base power, and we get 100% accurate out of this move. So this move doesn't miss, and it does almost 100. It's 100 power. So very good move. Decent amount of power points as well. At 15, we get Disable. So I think I'm going to sprint to 15 to beat Brock. We could probably beat Brock with a little bit of Wrap, Supersonic Stomp combo, something like that. But I'd rather just get to 15 and be certain, because when we get to 15, we get Disable, and Disable is pretty nice because when Brock initiates Bide, if we disable Bide, it will not attack for however many turns Bide is disabled. It'll just sit there and do nothing, and we can just get free damage on it. So rather than risk it and have to have multiple resets and take up time, I think I just might sprint to level 15, get Disable, and then we can beat Brock pretty handily and progress on to the game. We also get at level 23, we get Defense Curl. Defense Curl, it would be useful if we didn't have other moves, but it won't have a long shelf life with us. We'll probably just use it around like Misty just to up our defense or something like that, or maybe even Tenant Surge. But we're going to get a move later that's going to be a much better stat modifying move than Defense Curl. 31, we get Slam. It is Stab, so it's 80 base power with Stab making it 120, but it's 75% accurate, and there's just a much more reliable move we can do that does more damage, it's more accurate, and it can paralyze. You probably know what it is, but I'm going to go over that here in a moment. And then Screech, at this level in the game, at level 39, it's kind of pointless. Yeah, because it's good if we had, like, if this was like a setup Pokemon, lower defense, and then send another one and knock it out, whatever. But we'd have to do Screech with every Pokemon. It takes a turn, and we're just going to take damage back. There's no point in doing it. So let's just, try to be as hard-hitting as we can without using something like Screech later in the game. Later in the game, Pokemon just get way too strong, and they're going to do more damage to us than they would early. So if this was like an early move, it'd be great, but it's not going to help us at all. So we cannot beat this game. Well, we technically probably could if Supersonic confuses and the other Pokemon knock itself out. But we cannot hit Ghost with this moveset other than Supersonic. So with Supersonic, if confused, they can knock out Ghost. However, we are not going to be using Supersonic to knock out Ghost. We have other moves. This move pool for this Pokemon is fantastic. This TM moveset, very broad. So we start off the game, and we can get, after we get by Brock, we can get access to Mega Punch pretty early. 80 base power, 85% accurate. It's also Stab, so it's 120 base power. Very powerful move. We also get access to Swords Dance in this game. So Swords Dance, if you've never seen a Pokemon video before, when you do Swords Dance, it'll actually boost your attack stat by 2 stages, which is very good because we don't have a great attack. It's not horrible, but it's not great. So this will give us much more bang for our buck. It also does the badge boost glitch on the other stats in the game. So we can boost our special with this. We can boost our speed, so on and so forth. We get access to Mega Kick. We're not going to use it. Toxic, not going to use it. Body Slam is probably the best move to do for a normal type Pokemon. It's 85 base power, 100% accurate, and yeah, it's the best one to use. It also has the chance to flinch or to paralyze the opposition. Very useful. And with our stab, you're looking at over 120 base power move. So yeah, very useful. It's 128 base power, I think is what it is. Takedown and Double Edge are two moves we can use, but we're not going to. But with Stab, these are way more effective. Double Edge is 150 base power if we need it. I don't think we will. If we get to that point, we're kind of having some form of desperation. Okay, Water Gun and Bubble Beam are great because the biggest thing, well, not the biggest weakness we have is we can't hit Ghost type. But Rock type, we don't do a lot of damage to either. They're resistant to us. So Water Gun and Bubble Beam mitigate that. We get Water Gun pretty early. After we beat Route 3 and get to Mount Moon. We get it right as soon as we walk into Mount Moon. And Bubble Beam we get when we beat Misty. Ice Beam will eventually replace Bubble Beam because it's just marginally, it's significantly better move. Water moves, even like Surf, and Surf's on the other side. Ice Beam will do better against Flying type. It'll do better against Rock type, Ground type. It'll also do better against Dragon. And Surf will hit Dragon, but it won't do the same damage that Ice Beam does. Ice is a very underrated typing in Generation 1. It's very useful. We also get access to Blizzard and Hyper Beam. Blizzard is a more powerful version of Ice Beam. It's just less accurate. So it's a pick your poison kind of there. Hyper Beam we're not going to use, but it's very powerful. It's a 225 base power move. Whenever we hit Hyper Beam with our stab. Okay? Is 90% accurate. The only problem is you have to sell a lot of coins to get it, and I just don't want to do that. I think I can win with Body Slam and a combination of the other moves here. None of the fighting moves will come in handy. Submission, counter, Seismic Toss are not useful. Rage isn't useful. Thunderbolt would be very useful because it can actually hit birds. It can actually hit water Pokemon. So it gives us versatility there. Thunder is more powerful, but it has a way less accuracy. So there's kind of no point in using it. Earthquake is a fantastic move to have because when we get to the Elite Four, we're going to have to face Agatha, and Agatha, her Pokemon will be weak to Earthquake. Earthquake will be a one-shot on most of them except for the Golbat. Fissure, not going to use. It's a horrible move. Mimic can be used, but I doubt we'll need it in this playthrough. Double Team is outlawed. Bide, we're not even going to add it in this playthrough. It's useful for some playthroughs, not this one. Fire Blast, I don't know why we get access to Fire Blast, but we do. So we have the most powerful Fire move, Electric move, Ice move. We don't have the most powerful Water move, but I think it's the most reliable Water move, the most powerful normal move, so on and so forth. So this Pokemon has some really good coverage. Skull Bash, whenever we're not going to use again unless we absolutely have to because Skull Bash sucks. It takes 2 turns and it doesn't do much when I used it. Rest I've never used, and I doubt I'll use it in this one. Substitute, not in this one. Cut, Surf, and Strength are all HMs we can do, but we're not going to use any of those because we cannot delete them. So Surf would usually be a pretty good one, but we can get Ice Beam, so the Surf is kind of non-existent at this point. So that is a very broad moveset. You're looking at the late game moveset, you're looking at like Swords Dance, Body Slam, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Blizzard. And you got Earthquake too, mixed in that. So there's a combination we can put there. We can even use Fire Blast if we need to get by a Grass type. So let's look at the rules real quick. So the rules of this playthrough, we can only use the main Pokemon in battle. You can use other Pokemon for HMs or to catch Pokemon for HMs. There's a running clock with 3 exceptions. One is Lieutenant Surge's Gym. The second one is at Celadon City to buy and sell stuff and run errands. As long as it's not induced to the plot and we're not progressing, we'll stop the timer there. And the last one, which we will not use in this playthrough, but if we need to buy a move from the Rocket Game Corner, you can only buy 50 coins at a time in Gen 1. So pause the timer, sell some coins, buy whatever we need, and start the timer back up. No glitches or exploits other than the badge boosts. We cannot help that. If another Pokemon does Leer, it'll initiate the badge boost. It'll lower our defense, but the other stats get modified 12.5%. And I'm not going to reset every time. So the badge boost is allowed. It's a mechanic in the game, but we cannot use a Missingo or we cannot use the Pokédoll glitch. No items in battle is the last rule, except for one thing, and that's Ethers. And more or less, that's about my negligence, and I don't want to punish the Pokemon and have them have a tainted run because I forgot to check their power points for a battle or something. While you're here, subscribe. It really helps. Also, comment, like, all those things really do help the channel. I've said it before. I'm a dad, 2 kids, a wife, 40, 50 hours a week of work. And, yeah, I'm doing all this by myself, so you liking and sharing and all those things really do help, and I really do appreciate it. So the last thing I want to go over is a prediction. So I actually think this Pokemon will have a very solid run. With its coverage, some of its stats aren't great, but we can mitigate that. There's ways we can work around that. But its coverage is fantastic. There's nothing in this game we're going to come across we don't have something that can be super effective against it, for the most part. Okay, we might have that one Pokemon we're going to find it's not, but for everything I'm looking at in this playthrough, there's nothing we're going to come across that's going to be overly too difficult, other than the fact we may not outspeed. But like I said, we're going to find a way to fix that. So I think this Pokemon can get this done between an hour and 10 and an hour and 15 minutes. That's the goal. I'm actually, my ultimate goal is to get this done under an hour and 5 minutes. See if it's one of our faster playthroughs. It is a slow Pokemon, but the rest of the things make it so it can be a fast Pokemon. And yeah, I think an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes is a very conservative time, but my ultimate goal is to get around like 1 hour and 5 minutes. Okay, so let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Again, my schedule, I'll go over it again. Prediction on Monday, Lord of the Rings video on Tuesday. On Wednesdays, we're going to start having replays of videos I did before that were bad quality, or an optimized run trying to fix something I might have made a mistake on. Thursdays, League of Legends will be starting up very soon, so I'll play League of Legends on there. It's going to be a quick video of me playing League of Legends, all it is. And then Friday, as usual, is the playthrough portion of the video we predict on Mondays. So that's my schedule. If you have any comments, questions, statements, attitudes, or beliefs about my videos, please leave them down below. And let me know what you think. How fast you think I get this done. I've seen some videos where Lickitung is actually pretty darn fast. You just got to know when to pick your spots to add moves and things like that. So, I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you on Friday.